Because we love what? Oh man, y'all passed that test. That's awesome. Well, for a man that needs no introduction, I'd like to welcome and give a great, I'm honored to meet him because, you know, I've talked to him on the phone, we've emailed back and forth, and this is the first time I've got to meet him. So, welcome, Bill Ferris.
Thank you so much. It's an incredible uplift to be home and to have this kind of turnout. I knew it would be a good turnout because by coming home I get all the Ferrises in the front row. And that's a pretty good audience if no one else comes. And I have to acknowledge my mother, Shelby Flowers Ferris, who's 91. My time, but she appreciates music and started me on this journey. This is an amazing event, and I want to thank Annette Kirkland and Angie Wilkinson for putting it all together here. They say many hands make light work, and she had some powerful support as well with Laura and Troy Weeks at Lorelei Books, a magnificent bookstore. Thank you both for doing the wonderful book signing today. And it means so much to me to sign for old friends whom I've known all my life and friends of my parents as well. The Beaten Horn, so many great people here today. Also Leslie Silver and Daniel Boone at the Attic Gallery, who are the best of the best, and they have framed and displayed the photographs from the book. Vicksburg has really turned a corner when you drive down Washington Street and you see Lorelei Books and the Attic Gallery and Daniel's Coffee Shop and all the other things. After this, we're going over to the Juke Joint to have red beans and rice and listen to blues. It's a wonderful day for Vicksburg, and the landscaping of the streets. Mayor Paul Winfield is doing a great job. I sent him a copy of the book and wish him well. I was here with Alex Haley years ago when Robert Walker was mayor, and it was a special visit then as this is today. A lot of things are going on in Vicksburg. The Vicksburg Theater Guild with Mike Kalman is here, and a friend of mine at the University of North Carolina, Joseph Neagle, has put together a theatrical reading from the book, which we're going to hear in a little while with Sherry Burke. And is Rocky coming too? Okay, well, we will be joined shortly by our friend and partner, Rocky. And for the last half hour and more, we have been just totally loving the sounds of Osgood and Black. C. Black and Greg Osgood really play the blues and jazz. Let's have another big hand. One of which really touched my heart. It's a recent photograph published of the Jefferson Davis School that I went to out in Warren County in the community of Jeff Davis. And the old school is gone, but that picture brought back lots of memories. 3 teachers taught 6 grades, and it was the best education I ever got. And Mrs. Barfield was my 6th grade teacher. There were about 6 of us in the class, and she looked out over the class and said, "How many of you are going to college?" And nobody raised their hand. None of my classmates had parents that had ever been to college, and I didn't want to indicate I was going to be any different because they weren't going to college. But Miss Barfield pointed her finger right at me and she said, "Billy Ferris, you will go to college. Your parents will make you go." And I said to Miss Barfield, "I ain't going to no college." But she was right and I was wrong. She was a great teacher. And this past week in Chapel Hill, where I teach at the University of North Carolina, my wife Marcy and I went to a sort of food event with bacon and champagne being served. You can imagine that. It's a little shop that has a wine specialist. And this guy, who's, you know, you'd think he was from anywhere in the world that wine's grown, he said, "You know, my great aunt and my family are all from Vicksburg." And I said, "What are their names?" He said, "Barfield." Mrs. Barfield was his great aunt, and it made me have tears in my eyes to think of Miss Barfield. And her husband cut Barfield, so I immediately called Mother, as I always do when I have news of Vicksburg. And she said, "I danced many a mile to cut Barfield." So I can never leave Vicksburg. And the Vicksburg Evening Post, I must say, thanks to Steve Sanowski, did the best piece that's been done on this book. A magnificent, full front page spread that just was amazing. And Steve, are you here tonight? I haven't mentioned. There he is. Where is he? Okay. Thank you for being here. This guy is a blues lover. I mean, I don't know who could have written anything that well except for Steve. And thank you so much. This is going to be very informal, and the format, if you can call it that, is we open with jazz, and I'm going to do a few readings from the book, and then I'm going to turn it over to Sherry and Rocky, if he comes, to read some of the theatrical production that's been based on the book. And we're aiming to have a full production next year. And that's something that we would love to bring to Mississippi, to Vicksburg, to wherever you have 4 or 5 actors who want to stand up and do a reading. So I'm going to do a little reading and talk a little about it.